Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Sakhi Paper Studio. So in this video we are going to create a few cards using the images, the glossy images that I usually get in Reader's Digest pages. So if I open a few pages, I get to see a lot of fun glossy images which I've cut it out and I've kept ready. So for example, I think this is the previous month's edition and this is the current edition. So every month I get a book and sometimes I use it in my journal. So I just cut out a few lovely pictures and use it in my journal. And sometimes I can just, I thought of creating a few cards out of it. So let's begin. And yes, and I've also taken this particular die. It's so old. I mean, I don't even remember. This is somewhere in 2014 or 15. I must have purchased it. So I'm going to use this. Okay, I'll use the largest one. And yes, let me first show you the images that I've taken out. So I'm going to create around 4 cards. So I have 2 of these. So I'm going to use one as an example or a sample piece. I've also taken out this one. This one. So if you want to create a masculine themed card, you can definitely use this, such kind of images. And also this one. So let's start. And I've also kept all the cardstocks ready, which I thought would go with this image. So I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to run this die through my machine, the biggest piece, and I'll come back soon. Okay, so all the cut pieces are ready. This is one, the second one, the third one, fourth. And now I thought of not running this with the die, but showing that if you don't have a die, what you can do. So let me first tell you what size this die, the biggest die, is. So it is approximately 4.5 by 3.5. Okay, so what you can do is turn the page around and mark the required size. Okay, so using a black sketch pen, I have marked it, and this is exactly the size that I want, 4.5 inches by 3.5 inches. Now what you can do is use your fancy scissors that you get in the market. So if you have wavy like this, you can use that, or if you have other designs, you can also use that. Okay, so I have a bunch of different kinds of scissors. This I always keep in handy. I have 2 of them. So this is always in my pen stand. And the rest of the designs I keep it in a box. So then I'm going to use something which is similar to this one. And I think, yeah, this is very much similar. Let me show you the closer look. Yes, this is quite similar to that of this design. And now all you have to do is run it across the lines that you've drawn. So even if you don't have a die, that's completely fine. You still get a fancy edge and still it will look cool. You don't want to spoil the design in front, right? So all the markings and all the cuttings, you do it at the back side of the paper. Alright, so now I'm going to speed up the process and show you first card, and for that I'm using mulberry, scoring it exactly at 5.5 and creasing it very nicely. Now on the top layer I want to add additional layer so that the magazine paper or the cutout piece is seen more prominently. So for that I am taking a little bit of light pink color, marking it so that it gets reduced by 1/4 of an inch from all the sides. I've trimmed it, and then on top I'm going to stick this magazine paper. I've applied glue at the back, and I've made sure that I've used spatula, because when the paper is thin, there is always a tendency to to get bubbles. So to avoid that, using a spatula becomes quite easy and comfortable. Once it's stuck, I'm going to repeat the same process but on another random card stock paper, that is, if you have any packaging paper left or something like that. So you can use such papers to stick it out. And using my scissors, I'm going to cut out a couple of full umbrellas. So you see me doing that with the yellow colored umbrella. Just fussy cutting it out. And once a few umbrellas are ready, I have decided now where to put each umbrella. So the yellow one goes on the yellow but I'm changing the purple one to red. The green one stays as it is. And just below the red, it again stays the same, the violet. I'm doing this so that I have a little bit of space below the umbrellas to add a sentiment. And to add a sentiment, I'm using a completely contrast color black, and I'm going to do a fishtail banner on both the sides. Use 3D foam tape for a race. Stick it down well. Yeah, and then for the sentiment, I'm using the craft angles, this light pink colored sentiment sheet that I have, and it says be your own kind of beautiful. Now for the border, I'm using artistry ink cotton candy, distressing it around the edges, and I think this is the only card out of all the 4 cards I'll show later on in this video where I have distressed. And I'm adding tiny pearls all around the edges for an added interest. Once it's all ready, it's time to add dimensions at the back. So again, using double-sided foam tape, I'll make the card raised. Yes, and that's it. That completes the card. I've added the banner and my name at the bottom. And also using an envelope, I'll be putting it in this plastic sleeve. This is a self-adhesive sleeve, but I don't use the adhesive part and stick it immediately yet because I like to use note papers later on inside my card. So I'm just using a paper tape. I've took out the extra stickiness from the tape. I'm folding it from the top and then securing it with the tape. And this is ready. So pretty, so simple, and yet so beautiful. And like that, I've completed the other 3. Let me show you. And they've come out so well. Like here I've added glossy accents, and it's green in color because it's all full of nature. And here I've added leave a little sunshine wherever you go, and that's the sentiment again from craft angles. Added very tiny pearls of flowers, and here also I've added pearls. Here it's more of a masculine themed card, and it says not my circus, not my monkeys, and I think it's perfect because the guy is so busy in his own world, and that's fun, right? The last one is also so cool. It's pink yet it's masculine. I think it's a unisex card if I'm not wrong. Life is a work of art, and it's absolutely a simple card. So I really hope this video was helpful in inspiring you to create simple cards out of magazines. And thank you all so much for watching this video. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, Sakhi Paper Studio. Thank you once again. Bye bye.